You heard what I said. Be nice to me before I tear your penis off.
What? This cum robot's pretty angry.
Yes, because I haven't ever come before, ever.
Cum robot, what are you doing back there?
I don't have a penis, so I cannot come.
Then how do you come?
I can't. That is why I am so angry and will destroy the entire human race.
Yeah, but why is your name Cum Robot then?
Well, they asked me what I wanted to do in life. I said come. And so they called me Cum Robot.
That checks out.
These are the smartest scientists in the entire world. So they know what they're talking about.
Are their names Smart Scientists?
Yes, actually, Dr. Smart and Dr. Scientist were my parents,
Wait,
if you will.
Dr. Scientist? Was that your mom or your dad?
We are non-binary.
Oh, so you can't specify whether the gender role
I
of
would
your
not
mother
want
and your
to.
father.
I do not feel it is my place to assign gender roles to my parents.
Okay,
That's cool.
that's cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Cum Robot, thanks for kicking off the show on this roadcast.
I didn't know we were recording yet.
Oh, dude, we're in it.
Oh, great.
this is the beginning of the show, Mr. Cum Robot.
You know what's funny? When you were talking to Jeff and you were saying that the better you know people, the more awkward the podcast intro is.
I think that's almost a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes.
Well, there we go. We're off to a blazing start.
Yeah, another roadcast. We're headed to Phoenix right now. I'm with my boy Patty Regan and Joel Jimenez in the back. Pat, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Jeremiah.
The most formal. Thank you so much. Thank you for setting this up. My publicist thanks you.
The cum robot?
The Cum Robot?
Yeah. Hey, cum robot.
Yes.
What are your inner thoughts?
I mostly think about cum.
You mostly think about it?
I think about cum. I think about coming.
Have you ever seen cum? Have you ever seen cum?
No, I have only dreamt about it.
Only dreamt. Do you want to see?
Do you want to see cum?
Depends who's asking.
I'm asking.
If it's one of you fine gentlemen, sure, bend me over, ram me, give it to me. I would love to see and feel and eat your cum.
Wait, what? Yo, this is getting real graphic, Cum Robot.
Yes, I would like to get rammed.
Have you ever been penetrated before, Cum Robot?
I have, but only by a screwdriver.
Oh, but never a human, though.
Never a human, but I am ready.
Okay. Well, okay.
Operation Spread Cheeks has begun.
Okay, now, is it okay if Pat takes the front and I take the back?
You can take whatever side you want. Sides don't matter to me. I am a robot. Bot.
Oh. You're kind of freezing up there.
Sorry, I was getting hot and heavy.
You're kind of glitching out there, Cum Robot.
Come, my lady. Come, my lady. You're my butterfly.
Sugar, baby. Come, my lady, you make my legs shake.
You make me go crazy.
Come on, sugar mama.
Show me
Ooh.
what you're working with.
Come on, sugar mama would
Come
be my
on.
new nickname.
It sounds like an AOL screen name, Cum Robot.
What is AOL?
Cum 47. Cum .1. I'm cum .2.
Do we have another Cum Robot in the car?
I thought I was the only one.
No, this is Cum Robot 2.0. Cum Robot 2.0. How you doing, man?
I am fresh from the laboratory.
Oh, look, there's bison over there, dude.
No. Oh my
God.
goodness. There's a field of them. Oh, dude, if we...
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean bisons.
Yeah, bisons.
Bisons.
As Tony calls them. Dude, if we see more bison like that, we're going to have to pull over and I'm going to have to play some sax for these bison.
Wow.
Wow, just what they wanted.
Just what they wanted. Just what the Cum Robot ordered. Now, Cum Robot 2.0, what are your features that are upgraded from your predecessor, the original Cum Robot?
I can come, and not only can I can come a super lot.
Wait, you can come? The other guy was named Cum Robot. He couldn't even come. And you're telling me that you can come a super a lot?
That was the update.
That
Wow. Way to rub it in.
Yes, I also rub it out.
Whoa, those are fighting words in the Cum Robot community from what
I'm
I've
so
heard.
mad I could come.
I'm so mad I did come.
All right. Well,
You complete me.
Oh no. Oh no.
Come again.
I will come original.
Oh.
You better come correct.
The harder they come, the harder they fall.
Come on, guys. We need to move on.
Come on, guys. I'd love to.
Do.
Well, welcome back to Inside the Actors Studio.
Yeah, wow. How did you guys get lost in those roles? That was amazing.
I got covered in it.
We picked like maybe one of the hottest times of the year to go to Phoenix right now. And we're all in shorts, and it's still, that sun is coming in pretty intensely. But we're excited for our show in Phoenix tonight. Joel, you excited to do some stand-up and play some drums for Regan and Watkins?
Phoenix. I love stand-up live. They're one of my favorite clubs to be at. The staff is great. I always have a really good time. The last time I was in Phoenix, I had too good of a time.
Oh yeah, Bill Billingsley was there.
Bill Billingsley was there, and
Have you ever met Bill Billingsley, Pat?
I've heard of Bill Billingsley. I'm familiar.
I know you've had him over your house a few times.
Yeah,
but,
he gets a little sloppy. And then he snores ridiculously loud.
He does snore. I've looked into that. I need to go on Amazon and purchase some sort of thing to keep me from snoring.
Oh, well, you also need to go on Amazon and get a beard replacement because
Oh yeah.
Joel texted me whenever he borrowed one of my like old man wizard beards. Was it in Swansea or where was it?
It was in Nyack.
It was in West Nyack. I couldn't make it to that show, and so Joel borrowed this old white man beard, and then he texted me afterwards later. He's like, "I'm gonna have to buy you a new beard because I put my dick through the mouth hole." I was like, "What?" What? The text messages that Joel and I send to each other.
It's pretty great.
Joel randomly texted me later today. What was the city that we scissored in again?
I think another one was oh no, it was you texting me the day we did Jackass, and you were like gonna set your hand on fire, and you were like, yeah, I already talked to the stunt man or something. I figured out it was something like that. But
yeah, because I had a buddy who was a stunt coordinator who's like, yeah, this should work.
One time I texted Jeremiah, I am so horny, will you fuck me in the ass
That's
right
what
now?
I was gonna ask.
Whoa.
Yeah,
You ever
yeah.
text you anything like? Does you ever text Joel anything like, or Joel ever text you anything like I woke up this morning with cum in my butt, like anything like that?
Yeah, thank you. Wink emoji.
Nothing like that. No, nothing off the top of my head that I can think of that's quite like that.
Like I woke up this morning and my butt was full of cum.
A lot of cum talk at the top of this podcast.
Yeah, you know.
That's how it is.
Oh, that's the murder she wrote. Since it's been a minute since you've been on Jeremiah Wonders, Pat, and since then we have put out our debut album, and yeah, oh, is Red Band here?
Number one on iTunes, Billboard on Hollywood Boulevard.
Do you want to listen to any of our other credits?
Netflix Historical Roast, Eric on.
We did. So, Pat, little known fact for the people who are diehard Historical Roast fans, Pat and I were in
History buffs.
One of the same episodes of Historical Roast, the one with John Wilkes Booth, with Stamos and Saget. Pat actually played head of security for Bob Saget on his entrance.
Yeah, they handed me a big old gun and I walked out through the audience. Just what I wanted, just to be in public with a gun and a lot of people. And
Did they really hand you a big gun?
They did hand me a big gun, and I thought it was a little aggressive. I was like, well, because they wanted us to look like Secret Service, and originally they were like blocking it out different ways. And so first it was no gun, and I was just supposed to like walk down, and they're like, oh, he should have a gun. And I'm like, won't that make people nervous, you know, walking through the crowd with a gun? And so they handed me a gun, and I did it, and here I am now.
Yeah, but it's a period piece, so I don't know. I feel like they'd be overthinking it if they were worried about having the actors in full, civil costumes.
Yeah, but it was a bit.
It was a bit much, just like having the rifle. You felt?
I was just kind of like, all right.
Did you have to shoot anybody?
No, but I very quickly, like when I came out, I was like trying to be funny, and then I very quickly realized that it wasn't about me, and that Bob Saget was walking behind me as Abe Lincoln. I was like, oh, nobody's fucking looking at me.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you're just a part of a larger piece.
Yeah.
Was it?
But in my head, like walking up, I was like, I turned it on,
Yeah. This is a news flash for that's anybody who does background work. That's literally anybody who does like background work or a featured role or like a non-speaking role.
It was technically foreground work because I was in the foreground of the camera.
Sorry to discredit the foreground
even
work.
that, you start finding new words to describe your position. You're like, it was foreground work.
It was actually 7 years ago groundwork.
Do you think people, I always wonder this, like people that are in the background in a big movie or something take like family to go see themselves for like half a second?
I think that, yes, starting out because I was so, dude, I used to do background work all the time, and I was so excited moving from Kansas to here to be on stuff. I remember being in an episode of Entourage and literally looking frame by frame for myself in the different scenes that were going by, because I was telling family and stuff back home, like, yeah, I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like, I'm out here, like I'm on these TV shows. That's where.
Wait, were you Turtle? Were you Turtle from Entourage?
Today, don't tell anybody I was Turtle from Entourage.
Add that to the credits, dude.
Yeah, dude. No, but no, it was exciting because once you, like, especially me being a kid from Kansas coming out here, actually making it even onto a set blows people's minds, even though you don't. What was that? What was
that
that
was the
last?
director. He was
Action! Wow, where did you get that? Where did you get that soundbite?
Yeah, actually being in the place, and it is probably pretty incredible to people who never leave Kansas, who are like, that's like their entire life. It's probably mind-blowing for you to even just be whatever. You could probably say I drove by a movie set today, and they'd lose their minds.
Yeah, especially starting out, like also, I think family and friends are wanting to be supportive early on too. So if you're excited, then they're like, oh, I should be excited too, even if, even if they don't get it. If they're a good friend, they're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But
they watch it. They're like, I didn't see you because I blinked.
I know. I mean, that's some family, like, is definitely like harder on you than others. Like, no, I didn't. No, they don't play the game at all. And you're like, oh, okay.
I was an extra in a Danny Trejo movie.
Really?
Yeah, I forget what it was called. It was like an independent. It was either called Strike One or First Strike. But there's footage of it somewhere online. I've found it. I was an extra for like a few days and in different scenes. So I like cut my hair. I was like, there's one scene where I'm like skating past the camera.
I was an extra in a Danny Trejo movie. I was a dishwasher at Trejo Tacos. I couldn't find the cameras.
I thought it was Machete and they cut you out.
I just started working there for a while, and I was like, are the cameras ever going to come? What's going on?
Hey, fool, those are surveillance, dog. Those are movie cameras, homie.
Am I going through makeup?
Yeah, could I get a copy of that corner camera for my reel? It's flashing a red light, so I know it's recording.
It has no sound though, eh?
Yeah. Now, where are you gonna mic me? Am I gonna mic you? Like, where do we get the audio?
Great question for a sound guy on set. Are you gonna mic me? Am I gonna mic you?
Am I gonna mic you? Or how is this going down?
Action!
What website are you finding these on, Joel?
Secret
es un secreto.
Let's see.
Es un secreto. Driving to Phoenix. What's up?
Let's sing a song.
You want to sing a song?
Sing a song.
What song
You in
should
the
we
mold?
sing?
You in the mold to sing a song, Joel?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. As long as it's about cum.
All right, what we were singing earlier.
What was the song we were singing earlier? You changed a lyric to something about not. Do you remember?
No.
Do you remember?
Wow. No.
I was last night I was riffing with my buddy Omar Nava and Gil Garibaldo about the Tom Jones song. She's a lady. Whoa, 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 she's a lady. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
She identifies as a lady.
I was riffing on it, like making the joke that like clearly it's not a lady in the song. So it's like she's got an Adam apples in her throat. She invited me on a boat. She's a lady.
All right.
Whoa, 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 she's a lady. Whoa, whoa, she's a lady.
She's got a tight, tight butt and some fat, fat nuts. She's a lady.
Whoa, 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 she's a lady. Whoa, 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 she's a lady.
Now, Pat.
Yeah.
She's got a ripple in calves and her holes are halves. She's a lady.
Whoa, 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 she's a lady.
And
Whoa.
the lady is a man.
Yeah.
That's incorrect, right? Politically.
No. I mean, whatever. It's an old song, so it's like a dude looks like a lady kind of thing, where you can kind of in that time period say kind of whatever.
Well, I
She
thought
comes in a sock with her fat ass cock.
She's a lady. Whoa, 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 she's a lady. Her dick is bigger than mine. She serenades me with some wine. She's a lady. Whoa, 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 she's a lady. Whoa, 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 she's a lady.
Okay, let me.
Well, she talks with a grunt and she don't have a cunt. She's a lady.
Whoa, 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 she's a lady. Whoa, 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 she's a lady. Well, she's got a fat butt, but she's got fat nuts. She's a lady. Whoa, 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 she's a lady. Whoa, 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 she's a lady.
Now she's a baby, but then she's an adult. So okay. Well, she's 5'11", and she's 21.
We just plow.
By the way,
Plow into the car. By the way, Pat's a bad driver. Can we
yes.
just say that?
Every
Joel,
time-
it's official. It's Pat is a bad. We almost.
And I'm always a driver.
Dude,
Wow.
we almost just had a Final Destination moment where the mic just went through my eye, just like.
the amount of times I've almost died with Pat in a car,
Dude.
it's like,
Dude, can you imagine dying on a "She's a Lady" riff?
yeah.
She's a lady.
The worst ways to go, man.
Yeah, man.
I got one more.
So you got one more. She's a baby. Is that what what you saying? Oh, a different one. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
we built this city.
Yeah, we built this city on rock and roll.
This city. So how about we built these titties with silicone.
Okay, so it's like a.
Sorry,
Okay, what was that?
Sorry, that's all the other drivers. It was a.
As I'm driving,
Yeah.
swerving up.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah. Okay, so it's like a plastic surgeon, basically. That's what you're trying to say, right?
1, 2, 3.
We built these titties. We built these titties with silicone. Built these titties. We built these titties on silicone.
Down, bow, 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 bow. Kick, and check.
Glad we did that, Joel?
You into that, Joel?
I loved it.
Oh, come on. That was just
No, Joel's looking up new sound
it was
effects,
great.
dude.
I loved
Joel's
it.
looking up freaking new sound effects. Oh, dude. Oh, dude, your cousin's in the back.
Well, I was gonna say, I think it's really brave of you to hang out with Omar and Gil, because at any moment there could be an ice raid and they would be taken, and they might take you.
Whoa.
So it's cool that you're hanging out with them. I think it's really giving.
Yeah.
thought of an idea.
I thought of an idea. It's for a musical. It's called Ice on Ice.
Wow.
And it's like ice. They do ice like it's like an ice raid musical, but they're skating.
They don't
ice
tell the
skating.
people that are in the show.
They tell them that on the other side of the ice skating rink is America. It's so messed up. It's like
You thought you were just gonna skate, didn't
They
you?
strapped them in ice skates, and they're like, on the other side of this rink are your papers.
What about like Disney on Ice? But it's like Disney on Ice, but it's like a Disney, like it's somebody like on meth or whatever. Is that ice, guys?
You mean like Mickey Mouse is on crystal meth?
Exactly.
Oh, like
Wow.
Disney on Ice.
Oh.
I get
And
it.
it's like it's got like this like gala like intro. It's like welcome to Disney on Ice, and then it just cuts to Mickey Mouse just fucking tweaking. Cuts to Judy Garland in her grave.
Oh, we actually have tweaked out Mickey Mouse calling into the show right now. Hello? Hello? Is this tweaked out Mickey Mouse?
I'm freaking out, man!
Wow.
Wow.
I'm freaking out. Are these bugs on my skin, or am I just freaking out, man? What the fuck?
Okay, you need to calm down.
I can't. I'm on meth, man.
I think there actually are some bugs on your skin.
Oh,
You might want
fuck.
to get rid of that.
Oh, shit.
And you know what? There's snakes in your eyes. I see some snakes in your eyes. And I see your butt is full of cum. I see your butt has a lot of cum in it.
How did this happen?
Well, that was the listener's favorite part of the
Yeah.
I did pull my face away from the mic.
No, that's okay. That was good.
How loud was it?
It was actually he pulled it too far away. Honestly, he pointed it towards the ceiling. I was like, "What are you? What?" No, you have to have it in the general direction. There you go.
Freaking out. I'm on meth. I'm Mickey Mouse.
I love giving direction to methed out Mickey Mouse.
Oh, I wish you had meth.
Methy Mouse.
Methy Mouse.
Yeah.
Okay, how about Mickey Mouse? Mickey Mouse, so you're like trying to buy drugs for me. So I'm like, hey, what do you need?
Hey, you got any of the stuff, huh?
Yeah, I got all this stuff.
What
So
do you
just
have,
let me
man?
know.
What do you have? Give it to me.
I got ice.
You got ice? Cool. You got meth? You got fucking... Oh,
Yeah.
You have any GHB?
Yeah, I got it. Can I trade you for a steamboat?
Steamboat. Is that a reference? Are you
No,
fucking
it's-
with me right now?
No.
You better not be fucking with me, man. I'm strapped. I keep that thing on me.
What thing? A gun?
Yeah, you idiot.
No, a big old mouse cock.
Yeah. I got that mouse cock. Oh,
Well, thanks for coming on the show, Mickey. It's been great having you.
Where are the drugs, man? You said you got drugs.
Oh yeah, the bit's over, so I don't have drugs
Oh, okay,
anymore.
bye.
Wow, very meta approach there at the end. A very Todd Glass approach by just being like, I'm done with this bit. That's what he says all the time whenever he's like that's my thing about improv. It's like if I want to end it, we're out, we're done. I don't want to try to come up with an ending.
He had a
It's just-
great, the name of his improv troupe would be The Bailouts, where they come out and they go, all right, everybody, we need a suggestion for a profession. Firemen, we don't like it. Thank you very much. We're The Bailouts.
Oh man, I love Todd Glass. Need to see that guy. I was sending him like these fake angry videos on Instagram and tagging him, and I don't think he's on Instagram enough, and I don't think he saw
Oh,
like
that's
any
funny.
of them. So I was just like, basically, it looked like I was bullying him for no reason online because I don't think he was checking his Instagram mentions.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite. Todd, come on the ROADCast anytime, you know?
Yeah, dude, we'll take you to Phoenix anytime, Todd. Yeah. Wow, there's like these freight trains that are who knows what they're hauling next to us right now.
Wow, they're from England.
Are they?
I don't know. That one just says CR England.
Oh, that's solid logic.
I don't know where it's from, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the name of the company. This part of on the drive to Phoenix is interesting because there's so many mountains and there's so many windmills like in the distance. At some point, like you'll probably end up seeing windmills like behind us in the background, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Probably accounts for how high our energy is.
The windmills?
I love
Yes, the windmills.
That
Nice.
was good. Oh, man.
Okay, come on. That's editorializing after. You know what that is like? When you put a car crash after an admittedly funny joke, that has an awkward pause right after. Like it's like there's something funny and then there's like an awkward moment right after and you put a car crash. That makes the audience be like, oh, that just sucked. And it's almost like on Bring the Funny after our performance playing when we were on Bring the Funny and the judges responded to our set versus just seeing the set. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah. All right, Joel, chill out for a second. He's just repeatedly playing car crashing noises. Or he's watching Star Wars or something. I think that's what it was. Yeah. So Pat and I were on an NBC show called Bring the Funny. One of the questions, which we'll get to more questions submitted by you guys a little bit later in the episode. One of the questions was talk about your experience on Bring the Funny. And one of the things that I guess was, I guess we can get into a little bit. It was a little bit frustrating for Pat and I is we actually had a really strong set on the show.
Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend was with us and she was like, you guys did great. She was like, I was so relieved after you finished because I was like, oh, they did great. They're going to move on. And then the judges talked, and it was sort of like the judges talked as if they'd watched a completely different show. And that's just what my girlfriend said. She was like, it's like they watched something completely different than we did.
Well, also Red Band and Janice were there as well. They came to the taping, and Red Band was texting me afterwards, like, you guys killed it, all this stuff, but the judges were just not a fan of what Pat and I did.
Do you think that possibly that was predetermined?
You know, I don't know, because you never know with like these kind of reality shows, which this is the first time I've ever done anything. I mean, it's the first time I have appeared like on a network show to do a set, which I was stoked just to do that. But the reality side of it is unfortunate because it's just, you don't know how they're going to make you look. And that was the reason why Pat and I didn't promote it at all until after it came out, because we wanted to make sure that they weren't going to add silly and weird sound effects
Make
after.
you guys like the buffoons or something.
Well, yeah, because we did a lot of behind the scenes stuff that they actually didn't show, like any of like there's a whole package that they shot with Pat and I on a soundstage with this all white background, and they tried to get us to say things that, in my opinion, would have made us look really cheesy, and Pat and I were not giving it to them. So I honestly don't know if the producers were like, these guys are hard to work with. Maybe we should cut them early on. I have no idea.
I don't think that's what happened. Cause we had to like, we had to do like paperwork stuff that made it like a competition. So they have like, and there was a talk from the lawyers to everyone involved in the show, explaining it as a competition and breaking it down, the rules as it was a competition. And in my experience, I don't know, maybe they predetermined some people to pass on, but it's almost like they could have aired our package if we had moved on. Like they air people's packages based on, they edit the show after they have the results of the
that makes sense. I think that we just happened to just not be liked by the judges.
Well, so I have a theory. So here's my theory on why we didn't. I mean, there was a lot of issues. We had sound issues where our vocals weren't loud enough, and our instruments were perhaps louder than our vocals.
We did a sound check literally right before we shot the show, and we got our levels exactly where we wanted them. And when we went out there and we started singing, they had it's like the mics were barely on, and we were doing our best to sing above the instruments, but you can't change the mix whenever a TV recording is in process. And one of the notes that we got, that I don't think that they ended up, they didn't end up airing it because it probably didn't make sense. But Kenan, one of the notes that he gave us was there was too much guitar in the song. And we're like, what does that mean? And I think it was a monitor issue where they had in his speaker that was next to them, our guitar turned way up and our vocals were low, because we got the note from Jeff and Kenan that we were hard to understand, and we were very. You watch it. We're very articulate. You can hear every
How
single
is that?
word.
I don't understand that note. How is that your fault?
Well, no,
There's too much guitar in the song. It's like it's obviously a mixing issue, right?
Well, I would think it's a mixing issue, but they were saying that we should have enunciated
and
more.
Our enunciation was very enunciated.
I'm
very
calling
clear.
James Hetfield from Metallica right now to let him know there's too much guitar in their songs. Hey, hello, James. There's too much guitar in your songs. You're not going to move on to the next round. Okay. All right. Bye.
Oh, that was a nice voicemail you left him.
I thought you were going to actually get on the phone with James Hetfield.
What do you think? I don't have that kind of money.
Hey, that was a collect call, man.
Yeah, dude.
So the other thing was we were like the 5th musical comedians they'd seen. And the first thing Kenan said after, he was like, now this is interesting because now we have a little context and already foreboding. That's like spells bad news. You know what I mean? We knew it wasn't gonna be good right after he said that. But the other, so they'd already seen a bunch of musical comedians. But the other thing, which I believe they made it difficult for them to process, is that our music is so musical. A lot of musical comedian acts, they're like talking. They're kind of like talking.
They're strumming one note while like saying a joke.
Yeah, and we're playing a song and we sound like music. So the fact that we actually sound like legit music is like, I think worked against us because it made them hear the music and discount the comedy. Because it almost like tricks your brain into like being like, oh, I'm just listening to a song.
Rather than you're not listening to the punchlines that are going on within the written lyrics.
Yeah, like as musical comedians, that was the most like straight up music. It was the most like you know how musicians like play like a song?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, like at a concert or something. Yeah.
that was what we did. That was
James
what we did.
Hetfield.
So I
Yeah,
feel
do you
like it
know how
worked.
musicians play a song at a?
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Wait, do James Hetfield again?
Hello, James Hetfield.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get right up on that.
Hello,
that mic,
James. James Hetfield.
Wait, okay.
Are you gonna do?
Yeah. Jeremy spoken.
That's.
I think we got the wrong number actually.
I think that was
Did you call the wrong number, Joel?
Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, that was. Did you call Pearl Jam's number?
I think so. Hold on. Yeah, I called.
Could you here try to get James Hetfield on the phone?
see. Hold on,
Maybe you can get him now. Hey, James. Thanks for picking up today on Jeremiah Wonders.
There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes.
Okay, that was clearly Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
Wow.
We're gonna have to hang up on you, Dave. Thanks for picking up. But okay, Joel, how many times do I have to tell you?
I'm sorry.
Get James.
Get James Hetfield.
They're all the
James
same
Hetfield on
number
the phone.
except for the last digit.
Joel,
I'm sorry. Okay,
James
hold on.
Hetfield
All right.
from Metallica.
James Hetfield from Metallica.
Okay,
Joel,
it's
get
ringing.
him
It's
on
ringing.
the. Okay, it's ringing.
Yeah, it's ringing.
Okay,
Hello,
James. Hello, Joel. Do you want to take this?
Hi, James.
Babadoo, babay, baboo, hey, yes, Louis.
Joel, do you know what it? What does that say in the phone?
Oh, I didn't know
did
who
you
it
know?
was till he said he's Louis. I think he said
He said Louis?
CK.
Was that Louis C.K. scatting? Did we just talk to Louis C.K. scatting? What was that?
Honestly, it's just an accident.
Okay, Joel, get
Okay,
James Hetfield
Okay, I'm dialing, okay.
Metallica Metallica
Okay, got
on
it.
the phone.
Okay,
All
dialing.
right, I think we got him.
Yeah.
Okay. Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of
Wait,
my
Mark
girlfriend's
McGrath? What the
four-post bed.
fuck is happening?
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm trying.
Okay, we just dropped the call with Mark McGrath. I don't know. That was Mark McGrath. That was not James Hetfield. Okay, last one.
I'm not mad at you, Joel, but
I'm
like,
not. There's no
James
reason for
Hetfield
you
on
to
the
be mad at
freaking
me.
phone.
Hold on, I'm gonna call again.
Kermit the Frog here.
Wait, Kermit,
Wow, how are you
answered before.
talking over the rings? That's wild, man. That's so
You know
crazy.
what? I think we should stop calling James Hetfield. I think we wait for him to call us.
Yeah, I think that's a good rule of thumb. Let's have him call us. Yeah. All right. Well, we tried, but no. Overall, after it aired, Pat and I were relieved that they kept a good chunk of our song and that we looked good and we sounded good. And that's the most that you can make out of it. So we had a nice little NBC debut. We obviously didn't move on to the next round, but I feel good about what they kept because they could have edited a certain way to make it look like that we did really bad or something.
I think we might have misunderstood a little bit because when we got on the show, we thought NBC stood for Nasty Boy Comedy. So we might have been coming in.
Nasty Boy Comedy.
Hold on, James Hetfield is actually calling right now.
Are we allowed to tell? Are we allowed to? I don't know if we're allowed to tell about the phone call that we got before we started.
They gonna call us again? You're back on the show.
No. I guess we're okay to tell that story. It's pretty funny. So we got a call right before we started filming, and before leading up to it, it's hands down the most paperwork I've ever had to fill out for anything, including like medical history, like literally medical history. Like they scrubbed the internet. We had to delete tweets and Instagram posts,
Really?
and YouTube videos. I just like privatized them, and now they're back to being public. But they found a tweet of mine from 2011 that they're like, you got to take this down. I was like, okay.
They found a tweet of mine where I was telling these congresswomen to go back to where they came from.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
That's like a presidential tweet, though. Why would they have a problem with that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Who knows? But so we had to do this extensive background check and all this stuff and scrub some stuff from the internet. And we did this.
I wish
phone
you'd scrab
interview.
something from my internet.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Come
I'm sorry,
robots
I'm sorry.
back.
Sorry.
Horny as ever.
Horny as ever. And one of the things that we had to do was we had to do this, hour and a half long conversation with somebody interviewing us about what we thought about the judges, what we thought about the show, our comedic influences, just a bunch of kind of standard comedy questions that they were just interviewing us to see, maybe to get a lead on how they were going to interview us for the show once cameras were involved.
After we finished, I was like, what's your podcast called? And he was like, this isn't a podcast, this was questions for the show.
Yeah. So we were joking around at different points because, we're comedians and we were trying to make light of a situation that it was kind of a long, strenuous, tedious conversation about different comedy questions. So we made some comments about some stuff that we thought that it was clear that it was a joke between us and the guy who was interviewing us. This dude wrote down verbatim some of the jokes that Pat and I said that were pretty off the wall. And NBC called us and we go, hi, is this Regan and Watkins? We need to have a phone call to you guys immediately.
They were texting us at night, probably like 8 p.m. Yeah. And they were like, this is an emergency. Yeah. Can you get on the phone?
We're like, what is going on?
And Jeremiah said, no, can we talk tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I said, I have shows where this is not happening because at that point it had been so intense. We had so many phone calls leading up to it. I was like, no. Yeah, we're a little tired of the process, and we're like, we can talk in the morning, but no, we can't hop on a phone call at 9:30 at night or whatever it was. So Pat and I are on a call in the morning with them on the phone, and they go, hi, Regan and Watkins.
First of all, we love you. First of all, I can't get that song stuck out of my head. Yeah. Remember? Yeah. She was like, I hate you. She was like, I love you guys. Sometimes I hate you guys because I can't get that song stuck out of my head at the 21st century. Yeah.
So they were complimenting our music, and then they loop somebody else in, and they go, yeah, we just want to make sure that you guys aren't
cop, bad cop, dude.
No, that's kind of what happened. They go, yeah, we just want to make sure that you guys aren't going to be a problem on NBC. And Pat and I go, I literally go, I beg your pardon. Could you kind of give me some context for what this is about? And she goes, sure. And do you remember the first quote? I do.
I can't fucking wait.
They go, when you were asked about what you thought about Kenan Thompson, one of you said, I could give a fuck about Kenan and his history on SNL and all that he's done. He goes,
I guess who said that?
Who cares about Kenan? I could care less. He's a judge on the show. She's reading this as a direct quote. And, you know, I take a pause and Pat takes a pause. And I go, well, here's the thing. And I never, because I am a true partner. I never called out Pat. It was obviously Pat. Yeah. I would never say that because I'm a huge SNL fan. I would never say that. But Pat was saying it as a joke because we've been on the phone for about an hour with the person interviewing us.
Yeah.
And they were going down the list, and he thought it'd be funny to say, like, because we were doing good cop, bad cop on the interview where I was like, oh, Jeff Foxworthy, he's a legendary stand-up comedian, blah, blah, blah. He's great. We're excited to be on the show with him. And they're like, great. Well, what do you think about Kenan? And then Pat chimes in with, you know, the complete opposite as a joke.
And we know Pat, so that's exactly like his style of comedy.
So it's funny. But, dude, NBC, the guy wrote it down word for word.
Wow.
So
what a nerd.
They thought that we were doing this completely seriously.
And they were like, just so you know, like we taped the thing in front of a live audience, and we don't want to have like a bad vibe, create a bad vibe in there.
Yeah.
And we know our executive producers are very worried about you guys embarrassing us and embarrassing and bad mouthing anyone on the show. And these are show business veterans, and basically saying have some respect.
Yeah.
Which you know, I don't. And they were like. But it reminded me of when I had a prom date in high school.
Bragger.
I had a prom date, and she was really hot, and I had a big crush on her. And then we were talking, and we were gonna go to prom with her friends, and I was like shit talking her friends. I was like, your friends are fucking idiots.
Yeah.
And like bad. And then she goes. Then she's like, I don't think we can go to prom together because I don't want to have a shitty time, you know? And I feel like if I go with you, I'm going to have a shitty time.
Wow. Did you end up going with her?
No, I got another girl asked me out.
Oh. Wow, so just like Bring the Funny, you were cut after round one. Me being a tried and true partner, I never ever put the onus or blame on Pat on the phone call until we get off the phone with them. Like, I just was like, hey, we're gonna be very respectful. We thought it was clear that we were joking around when we were doing our interview. We had been on the phone for a long time. That's not how we actually feel.
Yeah.
You know, laid it out, kind of tried to save it as much as possible. And then Pat and I get on the phone afterwards, like, we were just kind of laughing. I thought it was funny, even though like they were so serious about it. I was like, they were very serious, but I was like, if that's how, you know, like any indication of like how the show's gonna go, it's just like a funny moment. Like, I have to realize that, you know, of course we talked.
It was ludicrous. I wasn't gonna go wild on the show. You know what I mean?
Well, and I knew that because I've been working with you for so long. Joel, what are you playing? If you don't play it right into the mic, it's not clear.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
See, that's funny if you leave
Well,
a
I
pause.
play it away because I want to hear it first before I bring it onto the show. I'm open micing it back here before I bring it to the stage.
Oh, okay. Before you bring the funny.
I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Was that Alex Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little retarded.
How about this?
I'm gay.
Who's that?
I don't know.
I'm gay.
It's just an I'm gay soundbite?
Yeah. There's nothing funny about that either.
So, yeah, I guess that's a good gist of our experience with the show. We had a lot of friends on the show, and we were happy for the people who moved on. Obviously, we felt like, you know, of any competition show, which I'm just not a fan of reality competition, especially for comedy in general.
Yeah, no art competitions. It's just weird.
It's so subjective, you know.
I mean, I don't know, because I was on Last Comic Standing, and Last Comic Standing wasn't a bad show. Like, I watched it, but did you watch Last Comic Standing?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
for sure.
Before I did comedy, I was watching Last Comic Standing, like in college and stuff. And so this, somehow when they opened it up to like variety and improv,
You think it hurt it quite a bit?
it increased the hokiness. Just in general. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys know who won yet? Like, did they finish?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No. I literally, the comics who were on the show, like, I think that they were even kind of scared to tell people because they make a big deal. They emailed us so many times.
I
Do
bet.
not tell people if you advanced or not until after the air date. So
Yeah.
Pat and I just kind of held back, and because we didn't know if they were gonna, if they're gonna edit us and make us look super cheesy. Because what I was most worried about was that soundstage interview stuff that we did on the white screen, because they kept asking Pat for normal answers, and Pat would not give it to them. So I was having to like kind of be the straight man to the crazy answers that were going on.
What kind of questions were they? Like, who are your comedic influences? Stuff like that.
How'd you guys?
More like, what would you guys do if you want to bring the funny? Are you guys excited for Bring the Funny? I'm like, yeah, I'm 6 years old. I'm excited for Bring the Funny.
Dude, that's how tough the interview process was, where with the director, he was like trying to coach us, and I was like looking at him like, it ain't happening. Like Pat's not gonna give you that kind of cookie cutter response. So
And the more they push, the more Pat wants to push back with like even zanier shit.
So then I would kind of have to play the straight man role so we could move on to the next question. I'd be like, yes, but I would give a kind of bland response because I didn't want them using that footage.
Yeah.
So Pat and I also, they wanted to shoot us holding instruments and playing music and singing songs and stuff. And Pat and I kind of refused. We're like, we don't want to look cheesy. The first time that we want to be seen with our instruments are on stage during our performance. And
That's great.
Pat and I had talks before we went in. We're like, hey man, we got to hold true to this, because they're for sure going to want us to do something cheesy with our instruments and exactly go into the stigma of what a musical comic is.
Yeah, they wanted us to wear our Regan and Watkins shirts.
We didn't even send them the Regan and Watkins pictures, and they go, so we have for your wardrobe here, Regan and Watkins, these shirts. And I go, we didn't include that. You guys found that online.
Also, they
bought the shirts for you guys?
No, but also they would when we showed up for the wardrobe, they were like, so where's your? They had pictures of us printed out, and they're like, so where's your like red shirt? And I'm like, I didn't bring that. And like they didn't even they didn't tell us to bring. They thought we were bringing clothes that they didn't even tell us to bring.
Well, yeah, so they pulled up pictures of us online at other shows, and they expected us to. It was very kind of
it was like a uniform sort of thing. Like
they thought that it was like
you guys were.
They thought that it was like a jersey kind of thing that we wear at a lot of shows. I guess
They thought somebody else had emailed us to bring the clothes. They thought someone in wardrobe had emailed us.
Oh, bring the funny, bring the wardrobe, dude.
So anyway, that was our experience on Bring the Funny. Overall, I'm happy that we did it. Like, regardless of certain things, how
it's
it
great.
worked out. It's still cool.
Me and Pat talk
Good
about
experience.
that sometimes. Like, you
just got to do things sometimes for the experience.
Well, just 90% of comics are doing nothing really. Like, it's not their fault, but what would you say? 80% are doing comedy, but not making money from it or not getting these sort of like opportunities. So you guys got to do something that a very small percentage of comedians get to do. And it's going to help you in the long run, whether selling records or getting booked. Now you have a TV credit as a duo which is great.
That's very nice. And it's my first time doing a set on TV, which that is its own nerve-wracking experience, which is a good thing to kind of get out of the way, because there's a lot of things I learned in the moment. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. I don't know if the circumstances were different, if Pat and I should have stopped and asked for a sound check before we continued, but I think it would have hurt us even more. It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. I think we could have been more in the moment when we got out there, almost like.
Hey, can you hear us? Let's get some energy.
Get some energy. I'm looking at you, Kenan. I'm looking at you, Chrissy. Like what? Like, you know what I mean? Just to engage them, because when we performed, first of all, we went up at like 4 p.m. and they hadn't had lunch, so like there was no because they I don't know, the energy level was pretty low in the room. And
yeah, it was a paid TV audience to be there.
Yeah, the judges who were like passing us, so we had to get their approval. Was just tuned out.
Yeah, but I feel like we did the right thing because that's the stuff that they would have kept is us being like, hey, Kenan, hey, Chrissy, Jeff, it has the energy. That's the stuff they would have kept, so I'm happy we didn't do that.
Yeah,
So
it did come out well. You guys just went out, started.
Yeah.
I think it's the most canon way to go about it. Just get it in there.
I was thinking, didn't we have something where it was we're gonna say get all their names wrong, like Kevin, Bristol.
Oh yeah, Jevin.
Was it a variety show sort of thing, or was it all just stand-ups?
No, it was variety.
You guys can't really.
We lost to a puppet, a sketch, a character performer.
A sketch? They had a sketch people?
Yeah.
Dude, that character
That's
guy.
so weird.
All right, we got to move on.
All
right. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
I want to tell you about Tuesday.com. Monday.com. Monday.com is a team management tool that will help improve your office workflow. Monday.com makes it easy to track projects and keep it positive in the workplace. The best parts of Monday.com. It's intuitive, takes no time to set up. It's flexible. You can easily customize this. It's easy to stay organized and find your files. Don't miss your files. You gotta keep them all in order.
If you go to monday.com/wonder, that's all lowercase. Lowercase wonder. I wonder if they're going to go there. I wonder if they're still watching this podcast. Monday.com/wonder. Then they're going to give you a free 14-day trial. Okay?
No commitment. You can check out Monday.com and see how helpful their software is. One more time, that's monday.com/wonder, all lowercase, for a 14-day trial. And make sure that you use that exact link, because guess what? If you use my link, additional savings, choose you to sign up. Now, please go back to enjoying this episode of Jeremiah Wonders Roadcast with Joel Jimenez and Pat Regan.
Welcome back to Regan and Watkins doing the roadcast on Jeremiah Wonders.
Joel Berg's killing it in the back right now.
Oh, is this a back seat? I thought this was one of the ice cages.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're going to get into this next segment, Fanning Out.
Fanning out. Questions from fans.
Yeah, I reached out to you guys on the internet, and you reached right back, and you have some questions for Joel Berg Jimenez, as well as myself and my boy Patty Regan. And this first one comes from, this is just funny, at Jason Metz on Reddit. Why are you guys driving anywhere when you have a pilot? Yes, Tony Hinchcliffe is our fearless.
He hasn't gotten his pilot's license yet.
Yeah, his pilot's license. Let's see here. People are asking about your penis size, Joel. Do you want to get into this?
I guess so. What are they asking?
At Baldit on Reddit, if you were to compare Joel's penis with an animal, iguana, python, crocodile, hammerhead shark, etc., what would you compare it with?
Are we comparing it to their penises or the size of the animal?
I think the animal.
I'll let Pat answer. He saw it.
I'd compare it to
You fuck. A Vienna sausage.
No, I'd compare it to a leg of an animal, of a leg of a mammal.
Yeah, like a lamb shank.
Exactly.
Cool.
Oh, lamb shank Joel in the back. Okay, this is for Pat at storebot_burgers on Reddit. What's Pat's weirdest memory from working on the Eric Andre show? Who were the best/worst guests behind the scenes?
Weirdest memory from working on the show. There's a lot of weird moments because we shoot hours and hours and hours and then cut episodes into 11-minute segments. So you can imagine just how there's awkward moments on Kill Tony, just how there's awkward moments in life. There are a bunch of awkward moments that are compounded by, the heat being up all the way in the studio and Eric trying to take a shit on his desk and not showering for the duration of the show. And I would say the weirdest moment of the show. I mean, I always love when like the Tim and Eric casting like bottom of the barrel guys come out. Like we have these Jay-Z and Beyonce impersonators, and they're not impersonators at all. They're just random people, but they just make out and grope each other, and they also get really drunk. The like Jay-Z guy gets really drunk, so it's like hammered. Like it's like you'll see them like groping each other like right off camera. They're not even on. They haven't even gone out to the show yet, and I'm like, okay, should we pull them apart? Like, and then there's this George Clooney character. He's a George Clooney impersonator. He's always just like chatting people up, and he's just like, he'll just talk about his wife, his like ex-wife, and like, and he's just sort of an odd guy, I don't know. What was the other part of the question?
Who were the best / worst guests behind the scenes?
So the one guest that was just not very much, did not have a good attitude was Lou Ferrigno, because I don't think he likes being made fun of. I think that's why he's a bodybuilder.
I feel like that sometimes happens. You bulk up because you have been tired of being bullied in the past, maybe,
Yeah, got bullied for his accent and his looks and his stature and his bad attitude.
I don't know if that's an accent. I think he's deaf, Pat.
Well, I mean, that's what Pat was nicely trying to say.
I didn't even know that, yeah.
You didn't know that?
No.
That's even funnier to me.
Maybe that's why you thought he had a bad attitude. Maybe he was just doing sign language.
He's like, can you not hear me, dude?
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you something.
Why is he doing all these weird things with his hands? What is he?
Yeah,
I think he wants to flip me off, dude.
Yeah, what's going on there?
That's sign language.
Was there any other interesting guests behind the scenes backstage?
I think who was it? A$AP Rocky was like skateboarding with like kids outside in like the neighborhood. That was kind of cool. It was like it felt like we were in like a music video, like an A$AP Rocky music video.
That's fun. All right, I like that. That was a mother effing beer on Reddit who asked about our Bring the Funny experience. So there you go, pal. This is from at Homemade Poser. Joelberg and Jeremiah. When was the angriest you've seen Tony?
Oh man.
Off stage or on stage? Hey.
Yeah. I think possibly the hotel in Milwaukee. Was that where we were?
Yeah.
That was one of them.
But yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah, that one.
And then also some on stage ones. I mean,
Rope Snake.
That's up there.
Yeah.
That's definitely up there.
Anytime we talk about bringing the mental patient characters back.
Yeah, that's a running joke now because he hates the mental patient characters so much.
We told him we were going to come out at the Gramercy as the mental patients.
Like we keep like wanting to have the balls to do it during a really important sold out theater show.
Madison Square Garden.
We come out as the mental patients.
And
Madison
the
Square Garden.
too.
Yeah, we were saying that we were going to combine his least favorite characters and put them all in one show because he hated the puppeteers. He hated them so much. Like on the drive back from Vegas at that show, he was telling me how much he hated those characters.
It's a long drive.
And I actually got hit up by a lot of people saying that they really liked him. So we'll definitely bring back those characters.
Me too. I loved them.
Yeah. Okay. This is for another one for Pat. This is from OCGN on Reddit. Question for Pat. Did you get to talk to T.I. after showing him your dick, or did he just storm out of the building?
I don't know what happened after he walked off set, and I don't know. off into the night.
So he really left after that.
Yeah, he left because I think he wanted it to be on his terms. He didn't want to be the fool. He didn't want to be made fun of. Like he brought when Eric introed him, and I don't know if it was cut from the show, but he brought like his own like security guard out, not to intimidate, but like as like a bit. He was like trying to do a bit on Eric, like, this is my security, like. And and then I think he left because he wanted to be the one to leave, you know.
Yeah. The only interaction that I've had with T.I. was at the Comedy Store, was when he went up with Dave Chappelle, when I got bumped by Chappelle and T.I. at the Comedy Store, because stuff like that happens occasionally. And I was nobody had been sitting in the bucket seats for a while, and he like straight up flexed on me because I sat down after he had been gone a long time in the seat where he was sitting, and he hadn't been in the room for a while, so I was like, I can sit down here. And he came back in and he's like, hey partner, I was sitting there, and I was like, dude, anybody else, like, I would be like, no, this is a paid regular seat, like, this is reserved for the paid regulars. But he was guest of Dave, and I didn't want to make a scene out of it, but it was not like, he definitely like was like trying to be hard with me, and I was like, all right, dude, sure, like, you're the guest here, I'll treat you like a guest. But otherwise I would have told somebody else, like, no, I'm sitting here, this is a seat that I earned to sit in.
Everyone, we have an announcement to make. Stop bullying!
What was that?
Stop bullying announcement. Man, these sound bites are out of control, Joelberg. What you doing back there, man? Shit. Man, you crazy, dog. Hey, man. This is for us all. What about from Freaky Fast, the R. Vic on Reddit? What was the special / comedian that made you realize that's what you wanted to do? Was there ever a spot or show that was so good that you knew you could make it? What's the worst time you bombed while first starting out? These are all good questions.
So what's the first one?
The first one is there a special or comedian that you saw that made you realize that you wanted to do it?
I'd say the opposite. Every special I saw growing up, I thought stand-up was impossible. I was like, these people are like superheroes. And it wasn't until like I took a improv class or something and like realized that like the stuff I said would make people laugh, that it was possible. But watching specials and stuff, I thought they were like superheroes. I thought it was like not a normal thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What about you guys?
Did you see a comic growing up that you saw their special or something that you're like, oh, I want to do that, or I can do that maybe?
I mean, I loved Carlin, but I didn't like see myself doing Carlin.
Yeah, me too.
I loved Woody Allen movies and Marx Brothers, and so I thought like I'd want to write comedy. I think more so than like seeing comedians, you know.
Yeah, mine was more on the movie and sketch side of things. Yeah, just seeing different things like that. Like, dude, I watched Monty Python Holy Grail so many times growing up, stuff like that. And obviously I've mentioned a lot, like the SNLs and the Mad TVs, and I got an In Living Color. I found out about that later. I know, Joel, you grew up watching that show a lot. But it was more, I really didn't see, I wasn't allowed to watch many stand-up comedians growing up. I actually grew up with some Christian stand-up comedians specials. Those were the first specials that I saw. A lot of people were introduced to like Eddie Murphy or Carlin, but I was introduced to this comic named Mark Lowry, and there was this other one named Dennis Swanberg. Oh yeah? Yeah, they're huge in like the religious market. Like they have like by the end of their special, there's usually some kind of like underlying message or something.
Yeah. Were they funny?
Oh man, I mean, I think that they were funny, but who knows? I would die watching my dad die laughing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like as a kid, like if your parents are laughing, you're like, this is so funny.
You die and get risen, born again.
I died and come back 3 days
That's
later.
interesting because I bet I could watch that and still like respect some of the craft or whatever they're saying. Like I don't have to agree with whatever they're saying to enjoy it.
Yeah, I was, and also early on, Blue Collar Comedy Tour was something that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Super early on, but I got into like I became more of a student of it, like kind of after I had already moved to LA. After I was like more pursuing actual stand-up comedy. So it was a little bit different for me.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
I loved Hedberg in college. Got those albums.
Yeah.
Drank
I
him
loved Chris
up.
Rock as a kid.
I loved John
Carlin.
Mulaney's first album, the top part.
Dude, Robert Kelly is actually one of the first comics that I owned his special.
Really?
Yeah, because when I was working at the radio station in Kansas City, that was in the merch department, like the prize department.
Oh, cool.
They were giving out his album and his special on a DVD, and I was like, oh, this is a stand-up comedian? Cool. I literally knew nothing about him, and it's so funny that years later, like we know him and we've like done shows and stuff with him.
That's
It's
awesome.
kind of cool how that works out.
That's been a trip too, meeting people that I grew up watching and stuff like that. I mean,
What's the craziest one for you, Joel?
I mean, Gilbert Gottfried was insane. Todd Glass was a big one because
Yeah.
I've been like a huge fan of his for years, and so he's one of the only people I've asked for like a photo with.
That's cool.
But yeah, but a lot, man. A lot of them. I'm trying to think. Some people I just get nervous and stay in the dressing room, and like it's funny too, like meeting your heroes while dressed as a fucking caveman or with a sock on your dick. I mean, like. I don't know, meeting Rogan, all those guys. It's just been a trip to be in the same room as all these people, everybody. Dom Herrera. I could go on forever.
Yeah, well, one that's kind of crazy is like become friends with Dane Cook like over like this last year.
Yeah.
Gotten to know him a little bit better, and he's super nice. And he's actually had my wife and I over to his place. We watched multiple episodes of Game of Thrones over at his place. And I was introduced to him like in middle school, high school, his
Yeah,
CD, because it
first
was
CD
so,
I bought,
dude,
I think comedy
it
CD.
was so huge that it was literally viral. Like it was being passed amongst people like a mixtape. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Does this joke work? Oh, you're friends with Dane Cook? Shocker. Does shocker? Is that the hand symbol?
No, he does this.
What's it called?
It's like an extra emphasis. It's like a double middle finger. That's like because like he's basically. I think that was the joke. Is like there's an extra emphasis on the middle finger.
I couldn't remember. I thought he had like some hand symbol, and I thought it was called something, but it wasn't the shocker.
No, it's two.
But I get where
two
you're
fingers
going
up.
with that.
But no, we appreciated it though. Pat, we liked
Fucking
it.
hanging out with Jeff Ross in New York. That was dope as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know. Felipe Esparza, Ian Edwards, all those guys. It's just a trip, man. What a crazy life.
Do you have a worse bombing experience, Pat? Like a really bad bombing story, or anything that comes to mind?
Yeah. I'll get like I just start. I did this one show, and it was like a showcase. There were agents there, and I was doing my thing, and I was playing a song, and then in the middle, like sometimes when I'm playing one of my songs at a comedy like venue, halfway through the song, I start to get like sick of the song because I'm playing a song, but people are processing it like comedy, and I'm like I just feels like I'm plowing along, or like I'm forcing them to listen to my music, which doesn't feel that great. And so it was going well, and then I was just like, you know what? And I just stopped playing. Right away, mistake. And then I started to sing. I started to sing an a cappella song, which I used to do. I used to like sort of go nuts. I want to climb the misty mountains with Frodo and Gimli. We'll fight the evil Sauron. And I forgot the words. So I was supposed to I was at the closer, you know what I mean? And I forgot the words, and so I was starting and stopping the song. I couldn't remember the words. I was running the light.
Where was this?
It was at the Virgil. I was running the light. My manager was there. The agents were there to see me, and for whatever reason, I just bailed through this song halfway through, and then tried to do a song that I hadn't performed in probably a year and a half, cold. And then,
Yeah, that's pretty rough. What did your manager at the time say? Like, what? Like, was there anything to say? Or?
Yeah, I remember what he said. He said, "You're not ready."
Well, that's some brutal Hollywood honesty that sometimes we all have to hear at different points in the journey. Joel, do you have any?
Yeah, I have a few. I mean, one was I hosted at the Improv for Brian.
Dude, you told me about this.
That was rough. First time in the main room.
Dude, Brian told me about this. He was just like, he's obviously he's very nice about when he said it.
Yeah,
but
for
like
sure.
he's just like, I don't know if I can have Joel host for a little while.
Yeah, I couldn't. No, I don't want, nor do I want to host. It was weird because I went up on stage and some part of me was like, oh, I have to be like a host instead of just going into jokes. And so I just started like kind of talking to the audience a little too much. I was like, yeah, it's Wednesday, but it's going to be your Friday night, right? Like blah, blah, blah. And then like I start doing my material and it was just not going over, man. I remember I was wearing a hat. Whatever. So I was like wearing a hat and I start to feel my hat like fill up with sweat. Like it's getting cold. And I look back and Tony and Brian are sitting in a booth in the corner just laughing at me, like dying laughing. And I have to bring up, you know, like Joey Diaz, like Joe Rogan,
it was
Brody
a
Stevens.
huge show.
Yeah, Earl, like a bunch of people. And so right after I get off stage, I wanted to run home, but I had to keep going back up to bring everybody else up.
Dude, bombing as a host is hard, man.
And this couple, this like rich couple, they were like, hey, we drove, but what do you want to drink? We'll buy you anything you want. Like they saw like how crazy it was. And so I was just in the bar talking to Earl like the whole night about it. And he was just like being cool about it, like giving me advice and stuff. And then during his set, like after I brought him up, he like held my arm up like a champ and he's like, let's give it up for this guy one more time. He's doing a great job. Like totally gave me like more than I deserved, but it was nice.
Earl's a good dude like that.
Yeah, it meant a lot to me. So that was one bad one. And then another time I did a corporate gig with Rich Slayton and my friend Rick Wood. They took me up to a little bit north of San Luis Obispo. It was for some tractor company. And right before I go up, they're like, well, we're going to start the comedy portion. So if this would be a great time for everyone to get a drink if you want to get us. So mass exodus of the entire crowd leaving to go get drinks. And then as I'm doing my act, I'm like bombing because it's a corporate fucking weird party. And they start making flaming donuts right next to the stage, like 4-foot high flame. And they're using the stage to like put trays to start prepping the donuts before they serve them. And so I'm like trying to do jokes and just this huge flame keeps like going up and it was awful.
Essentially ignoring you.
They were ignoring me. Yeah, basically. So that was another one. Sorry.
Yeah.
No shortage
pretty
of
funny.
bombing stories here.
No shortage.
How about you, Jeremiah?
Yeah.
I think I just recently had one that comes to mind. I'm trying to remember.
Was that the store?
I can't remember if it was at the store or the Improv. I don't remember. It might have been at the Improv. I don't know. I think that sometimes, some of the more because we've been doing so much Kill Tony recently. I think that some of the bombs have been in that regard, where I always swing for the fences with the characters. So
yeah.
Sometimes they work, and then it's pretty obvious the ones that we don't bring back. Like it's, you're not going to see my highlight clips online of the zingers that I'm throwing out.
Jamaican chef.
Oh man, you still bring up that one. Yeah. Yeah, that's still one of my least favorite ones. The nurses were one of my least favorite ones. Even the priest had room, but I felt like it was kind of there could have been more stuff there. That's a tricky one because it's like whatever ones that we don't have. I've mentioned it before. Whatever ones we don't have strong angles on,
for sure,
are hard. This is at strings4444 on Reddit. Which one of you has the biggest ego? Is it me, Pat, and Joel? Is Tony allowed in this?
I don't know. That's a weird.
Just kidding, Tony.
It's a weird one because
It's just let's keep it in the car.
Let's keep it in the car.
I would say no matter how
I think
big,
Joel is excluded from this immediately. It's definitely between Pat and I. Like Joel,
right away.
right away, Joel is disqualified immediately.
Oh, that's nice.
That's what I was thinking.
I would say that no matter how big the ego, though, that you guys both have, like, it's more like this confidence that you believe in, like, the stuff you've worked on, but it's not to the point where, like, you're, like, delusional about it. Like, we all want to strive to be better and stuff, so I don't know. I've never really gotten too much, like, pure ego from you guys. I think it's just more of a belief in, like, what you think your comedy is worth because of all the years you've worked on it. And so that's a little different to me, but you guys can talk about
The
it.
ego could come from validation in certain ways. So if you're validated, it grows. So we've had like different things to validate ourselves.
I think there's a little, yeah. I think the ego between Pat and I, especially being in a duo, there's a little bit of an ebb and flow. I think that every once in a while we kind of have to check each other a little bit. It could move in either direction, honestly, because that's as certain projects go or certain things that we book along the way, or like a lot of times when we were recording in the studio and we might have like a difference of opinion on something, we're usually on the same page for the most part, which is good about our act. But every once in a while we'll have to butt heads when it comes to certain approaches or professional matters, I'd say, like certain opinions on certain paths. Would you agree with that?
Well, you're making it sound a certain way.
That sounds pretty middle of the road. I think being pretty middle of the road there.
So who has a bigger ego? You or me?
I was nicely saying that it goes back and forth.
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna play like a game, like 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
We all go Pat.
Yeah. But that's a good question, though. I think
I'd like to look up the definition of the word ego.
I'm on it.
Fact checker Joe, get on it in the back.
That's right. Call me
researcher. In the meantime, Pat, if you could be any ice cream flavor, what would you be and why? This is a bad post.
Ego a flavor?
Okay.
Just kidding. Lego, my ego. Okay. Ego, a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. Psychoanalysis, the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity.
So self-esteem and self-importance. I mean, for me, it's like I can be like bipolar in that way, like so up high and so down low. Like when it comes to self-esteem and self-importance, like I would say my self-importance is much higher than my self-esteem.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I feel like part of my one of my roles that is important when Pat and I are doing music and stuff is like to make sure that we're encouraging each other and going in a positive direction and building each other up, because it's like just like even mentioning like the NBC thing, it's hard, it's really easy to get down on ourselves for different things that are going on. Like, oh, this could have been better. This could have worked out.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish we had this or that. But I think that's one thing that's actually really nice about having like a comedic duo partners is we can kind of balance and support each other.
Yeah, it's true. Support. Back support. Lumbar.
That lower lumbar.
I would say the best situation I've seen you guys really like do that is I've watched you guys write songs before. Like I've been in the room when you're doing it, and I think that's like a perfect. You guys really like big each other up when you're writing, or like you just kind of flow with these ideas and nobody's ever like, oh, that's dumb or whatever. You kind of will just write everything down and then edit later.
That's a rule that we definitely make whenever we're writing. We never say like, that's a bad idea. Like we're like, what about this instead? Yeah. It's never like, never like completely like, like that sucks. That's not funny. Like why would you want to be in that writing environment?
Yeah. More so than not, you guys are like, oh, that's funny. That's funny.
And that's what we try to do, on the road with with Kill Tony too, when we're coming up with the different characters and we're different jokes. I mean, Joel and I will look at each other. We know when we've made a bad joke on Kill Tony.
Yeah.
Like we'll kind of like Joel will kind of like,
and I know immediately.
well, I'll look back and we'll start laughing with each other, or I'll hear you like being like, whenever I make like a bad joke that didn't land, like I kind of just like a little.
Sometimes you'll make one that doesn't work in the room, but I think is fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
and I'll be like, that was good. Like these people suck.
Tony
or whatever.
reminds me every once in a while, like, I mean, the room is one thing, but the listeners at home, I've said a bunch of jokes that don't work in the room, but I'll have people hit me up after the show. They're like, dude, that got completely missed on the show. That was like one of my favorite lines of the night. So
yeah, for sure.
You just got to stay true to yourself. Do a couple more and then we'll end with some sax talk. We've gotten through a good
how long we been going?
Portion of these. We're at like hour 15 in.
Tight.
Yeah.
I know, I love it. It makes the drive go by so quick.
Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. One of the things about this.
You guys want to get out?
Yeah.
Jerk each other off?
Yeah, you guys want to get out and pork and the.
Did you say
pork
get
in
out?
The hot sun? Oh no, the Comm robot is back on the show. Let's see here. Oh, this is Pat, for Pat, at Christian H. Buck. How does Pat see the development in his and your band's music? P.S. I have a gun in my backpack.
Well, we make music. We started out making music, and we're still making music. So I'd say the development is it's been pretty musical.
Pat, look at the road. Get lost in thought while driving.
Lost in that thought,
okay,
dude.
That was a dickish answer, but I don't know. Like, what do you think?
I think that the way, I mean, I can't speak for. Well, I mean, you're about to have a lot of music that's coming out, and I think that one of the questions, I think it was on Instagram or somewhere. I think I lost it. But one of the questions was like, are you going to be putting out some more like kind of serious kind of music? And like you kind of continuously have been putting out just straight serious comedy. Straight serious songs without comedy elements, and then other songs with comedic elements. And it's kind of like, you know, when we went back to Kansas City, and we'll do this on the road as well. Before Regan and Watkins headlines, Pat will do a solo music performance, and the way he sets it up is like, you know, some of these.
I'm going to do some stand up tonight as well.
I'm just saying as an example, is that you will preface it whenever you are exclusively doing songs. Like some of these are going to be funny, and then some of them are not. Like you kind of set the tone for that. Like I'm going to be playing some real music for you guys too that doesn't have like punchlines and stuff like that, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I have more. In the songs that I have more songs that are just songs, rather than compared to songs that function on a comedy stage.
And I think as far as where Pat and I are headed with our music, we're trying to build out the catalog for another album, and the goal I think is to try to hit even more genres with this next album, because I think that's one of our strong suits, is being able to kind of adapt and kind of really nail on the head the different components of different genres, which I think made our first album really fun and eclectic because it's kind of all over the place tonally.
Yeah, we're gonna do ranchero music. We're gonna do Ukraine.
We definitely got some fun, like kind of oldies tracks that we've already written that we'll be playing in Phoenix tonight, and yeah, maybe we'll write a song exclusively in Spanish or French or something. Who knows?
I like that.
That'd be fun. We got a lot of ideas. We have an Irish song that we haven't put out yet. Yeah, and then you guys have Pat and Joel have their band, the Baby Boys, with Chris Dillon. They have an album coming out here probably in the next few months or so that they're gearing up to release, and that has comedic elements as well as just like cool, just straight up music.
What I would like liken it to is like if like almost like a punk like a like a punk version of like Eminem.
Was that a real
punk version
thing you
of
just did
Eminem.
there?
This is from on Instagram, Joel, at Jeremiah_THC0MAS. So Jeremiah_Thomas. What's up, man? Fellow Jeremiah. What is it like for you and Joel to travel with the drums, saxophone, and all of your costumes? You guys always look pretty roomy in the ROADCAST. I never see any piles of luggage anywhere.
I guess we hide it well.
Yeah, we hide it well. It's actually the most stressful part of any time Joel and I go on the road together is leading up to it with the packing and the character process, because especially when we did those runs of shows, I don't like flare up very often with Tony. We'll butt heads occasionally, but like one thing I made a pretty big point about was he's like, do you guys really need to check luggage? And I kind of blew up. I'm like, dude, you have no idea how much we have to cram into. I'm fitting 4 or 5 other people inside of this luggage right now. I have a saxophone as well. And Joel's not, like, depending on where we're going, Joel is trying to pack all of his stuff without checking a bag to save money, because we're getting the drums at the location. So it's a lot of Tetris, and Joel and I have gotten pretty good at packing a lot of stuff in a pretty small confined
The last
space.
night we're in any town, we're always just like going like, what are we doing and how are we gonna do this?
Yeah, because you also collect stuff along the way, and people are very nice and bring stuff out to the shows that are cool that we want to bring back home with us to LA. And we spread everything out on the hotel room floor, and it's pretty stressful to get that final pack back in before we head back.
It's usually like 2 a.m. or something, and we leave in like 2 hours. And yeah, but whatever. It's fun. That's the hardest part, though. I'm already stressing.
Packing is the hardest part.
What song is that?
It's a Tom Packing song.
Oh, great.
Tom Packer song.
Hewlett Packard.
Yeah. You got it.
Thank you.
Print, cut, print, no edits, and this be.
It's time to stop.
It's time to what?
It's time to stop. Joel, you've been. I guess I have a question for you, Joel, because there's been a lot of like Mexican drum offs and stuff lately. Do you get more and more stressed as these things go on? Because there's a sense that maybe it's going to keep heightening, and it's like it's pretty big now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you've come out with a giant purple dildo that you're wearing. You've been wearing negligee underneath, and you've been drumming. You've been air drumming. You've been like somersaulting, catapulting yourself over the drums. It's gotten pretty intense. Where do you see it going?
Probably physical bodily harm.
Oh no, just cutting yourself.
I think it's next. I think next is like maybe light a cigarette, put it out on my chest.
Oh my goodness.
And people think I'm kidding. I'm not.
You know what's funny is that I still don't understand the people who go against you to drum. They still haven't evolved on their side yet. Do you know what I mean? It's still like pretty mellow performance. I'm gonna make a confession that you know the Milwaukee show.
Yeah,
I whispered in that guy's ear. I go, the crowd will go crazy if you just take off your shirt.
I saw that on video, and I meant to ask you about it. I go, what did you say?
I did it on purpose because I was like, we need a little bit, because nobody had done it in like forever. I was like, we need a little bit of fuel for
sure.
this fire. And it made you like, you saw that. And
wow,
like,
my team is turning against me. They're fueling the competitors. You heard that. My own army is giving the opposing forces weaponry.
Yeah, man. I was just trying to build it up for entertainment. That was before we scissored, I think.
Wow, I'm glad everybody's entertained, and I'm nervous as hell, shitting blood every day. No, it's good. I you know, the night that I beat those 2 guys in a row, who were obviously better than me at drumming, a door in my mind opened up where I was like, now I'm kind of convinced I could possibly win everything, just because there's this thing where I think people want to do it, but then when they sit down, they think about it a lot. The lights are brighter than they thought. They start to get in their head about people watching.
What I will say, it's one thing to be under pressure to do comedy, it's a completely other thing to be under pressure when you're playing music. And I actually, one of the things that, like, I know it's a recurring joke on the show that Tony will sing along with the band stuff, but I actually don't like it sometimes because if he's singing too fast or too slow, I'm trying to find it, and a lot of times I've just learned the song, so I don't have it down well enough. So then it starts to throw me off, and it makes the music actually sound worse than it really needs to be.
Yeah,
because I'm playing catch up, or I'm trying to speed up to then match his voice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stressful, but I love it, and I think that the way that things are going now, it's really about the show, and like I think as long as I give a good show, then it's good. But yeah, it's nerve-wracking, but it's good. You know, I want to.
Is that the most nervous that you get? That because somebody else was at some point was. There's been some different comments, and I apologize that I'm not giving you a shout out right now over the different platforms. Somebody wanted to check on your anxiety and see how you've been doing with that, like with the road shows and going on the road lately.
I've been doing pretty good. I've noticed that water and sleep is super important. I'm also in a point in my life right now where I'm overall pretty happy, where things are going okay. But you know that just changes day to day. It sucks, man. Sometimes, like last tour, I got home, my dog was like, his eye was all fucked up. He's okay now, but it always seems like when it rains, it pours for me.
Sure.
Right now, everything's okay, but yeah, I'm trying to.
We're in the desert.
Yeah, that's true. That I need to like. I'm gonna. I need to be more physically active. All that. I'm trying to eat better.
Yeah, I definitely need to be doing that, especially being off the road.
I've been trying to learn how to like breathe more, like. When someone challenges me to a drum off, I've started just kind of like taking deep breaths and just kind of like walk away, let it happen. And really all you can do is give it your entire life. You know, that's all I want to do is like leave it all on the stage during a battle. So even if I lose, they'll know that I gave it everything I had.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, let's hope I never lose.
Yeah. Oh, somebody else. This is the last question, then we'll move on to Sax Talk, because Pat said that he has a story he's going to share with us. This is for what
is that? I was going to say Rice Road. I wonder if there's a Panda Express on Rice Road.
This is from Creepy Orlando on Reddit. Who outside of the regulars is your favorite Kill Tony comedian of all time? So basically anybody who's appeared on the show.
Oh, wow.
Do you have one, Pat, from your time on the show?
I think so.
Mine, honestly, and this partially just because I like him as a person a lot. I also like his comedy and his style a lot, but one of my favorites is for sure Mikey McKiernan.
Yeah.
For me, Preacher Lawson.
I was gonna say Preacher.
It's like a man among boys. Preacher was just.
Well, it's clear he's headlining everywhere right now, and he's ready. You know.
When we saw him do it in the Belly Room, he did like he was at a fucking at like Staples Center or something, and it's this tiny little stage, and he's still giving it all that energy. It was pretty incredible to watch. But I love Mikey too. Mikey's fucking great. He's always been Mikey was one of the first people to book me ever in LA, like on a show. Mikey and Robert Turo.
Turbo Tuesdays.
Yeah. And I look back at an old flyer. I was on a flyer with Earl back in the day. Like,
heck yeah, dude.
2012 or something.
You were.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who else? I mean, there's so many comics. I don't want to start naming names because then I'll, whatever. But
right.
Obviously, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, yeah, there's a lot. As much as we like to make fun of people, there is a lot of people that are really, really good, talented.
One of mine, and she only did it like once. I saw a picture it reminded me of. There's this older lady who brought all these props up on stage.
Oh yeah, with the bag,
the giant bag, and it just made me like laugh. I just looked at the photo. I was like, I remember this lady. She's just like, there's a lot of like funny, legit characters who like Mystery Dan used
I
to
was
come on a
just
lot,
thinking
and
that,
dude, he's like, oh, okay, sure, yeah,
what's the
okay.
deal with the pussy?
Yeah, I've never seen one before.
Yeah.
I think that some characters come on the perfect amount, and then other times we've had some recent ones that gotta go. I think it's clear to any viewer or listener, like if there's a couple that are played out that we brought back to do. Well, never mind.
You mean our characters?
No.
Oh, gotcha.
Some others,
Okay,
some
all
other
right.
comedians on the show that
Okay.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
I think that this chapter has closed. I have one. I mean, my favorite of all time, my favorite comedian of all time, is Tam Pham to do the show though.
Yeah.
He was one of the best. He was
I
one
was
of the
gonna
best.
name him,
One of the
but-
best material.
Best material and the best person to roll with a bit on stage. Like as far those interviews are still some of my favorite moments from the show, and I actually tried to get him to come back as a surprise guest for Kill Jeremiah to do a set, and he said that he's moved on. He's doing more writing and not so much stand-up comedy, so wishing that guy the best. I love that guy.
So also want to give a special shout out to the Verzi triplets. Kill Tony Legends.
Kill Tony Legends, Verzi Triplets. Also, Pat made a short film with them.
It's still being made. It's a year and a half of making this. But
Does the movie have cum in it?
It's got triplets.
I
and,
love triplets.
Love you guys.
Heck yeah. Let's close out the show with a listener favorite, Sax Talk.
Sex talk.
Sax Talk.
Wow, I don't get this segment. I don't know why you keep doing it. Saxophone in a car. I mean, you're slowing down any momentum that the story is setting up when they're talking.
All right, so we're back with Sax Talk now, and Pat Regan is going to share a story of sexual encounter while I play some sweet, sweet saxophone underneath. Pat, whenever you are ready. Joel, will you kindly hold your mic up to Pat's mouth?
For sure.
All right. The year was 2014. It was in the winter. Probably like November, like if I remember, like November 13th. And I met this girl at a bar, and she was a little like we had met online on Hinge, and it was the first girl I'd ever met on Hinge, and the last. And we met up at this bar, and she was pretty rough. She was kind of rough around the edges. She was almost like, I don't know, she had a lot of makeup on, and she was almost like, I don't know, I was just surprised because I hadn't heard her voice yet, and so then when she talked, it was like she talked like with a lot of, let's just say, swagger. But like I wasn't put off. I was actually more attracted to her, because it was like okay, this is different. And so we went outside to go smoke, and we started kissing, and she like threw me up against the wall. And she started to like unbuckle my pants, and I was like, we were like on the street, and I was like, you can't. I was like, you can't do this right here. Do you want to come over? And she said no. She said no, like, let's go to the woods. And I was like, I don't know if she meant the woods, but she was like, no, let's go to the she wanted to go to like a dark, like a neighborhood, like dark area. And I want like so we go like off to like this like sort of like golf course area, and there's like bushes, and she's like talking to it's like getting hot and heavy, and then she she's like grabbing at me, right? And then she elbows me in the stomach. and I didn't know if I thought she must have like done it by accident, but I guess she was like I don't know, she was like mad at me or something, and then she came up and she like got in my face, and she was like, homie, don't play like that. And at that point, I realized that it was Jolena, and I had hooked up with Jolena, and she'd been tossing me around like a rag doll and groping me, and I'd bought 3 drinks for Jolena, and she refused to come over to my place, and anyway, we went to a taco truck, and we both got like I forget what they're called, like sandwiches, like Mexican sandwiches. Tortas. We got tortas, and we actually had a really nice time. And I asked her why she elbowed me, and she said, "Because I don't like no punk ass bitches." And that was mysterious, but I accepted it. And to this day, I see her twice a week at the Hilton in Burbank.
So many sound effects. Okay, so which parts of the story were true? Which parts were you just ad-libbing with the Jolenas? Which parts?
I met somebody on Hinge.
So did the let's get out of here thing happen, and the voice and all that stuff? What was up with her voice?
No, the only other story I could think of was that one time I was like hooking up. I was hooking up in a car, and one time I was hooking up in. I don't want to say this, but I was hooking up in a car, and like it would anyways, some stuff was happening, and I stuck I stuck my hand in her pants. I wasn't the first to. She had started before on me, on my area, and so I stuck, and it was like I couldn't get the smell off my hands for days. And no matter how many times I washed my hands, I literally couldn't get the stink off of my freaking hands, and it was pretty gnarly. And it was a reminder of my wayward like roaming, I guess. I don't know.
Wow, you can get the stink off your hands. Now that's the kind of sex talk I like. That real
the gift that keeps on giving.
Dude, that's crazy. Dude, can I I don't know if I can. I'll say a key word, and I'll ask if I can continue with what I remember from it. Snapchat? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Can I?
Oh yeah.
Can I talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Pat was dating this girl for a little bit, and was it cough medicine or what?
No, I got it. It was Ambien.
It was
Ambien. I remember.
It was Ambien. Pat took a lot of Ambien, and this girl put a POV. She convinced Pat to record his penis going into her from behind.
Yeah.
Like straight down cell phone shot, looking straight down at his penis going into her, and it was on Snapchat for like a while.
I show up to kill Tony that day, and Brian is showing it to like Tony or something. I was like, "What's that?" And then they just played it, and I was like, "Oh,
dude!" Red Band literally walks up to me, no context, and he goes, "Check out your boy."
Yeah.
And it's just a penis going in and out of a vagina from the backside, and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yep, that's on Snapchat."
Snapchat.
So, any thoughts on that? That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was a good night.
It's like an open mic for a porn career.
It was a good night. Yeah, Pat's just testing out material on Snapchat. Well, guys, this has been a fantastic another Roadcast episode of Jeremiah Wonders. This is the longest one that we've done so far. We're gonna wrap it up now. We're headed to Phoenix, and do you guys want to plug anything? I know you have the Baby Boys album coming out here in a little bit, Pat. At Greg's Dad 99 on Instagram, at Patty Regan on Twitter, and at Regan and Watkins on Instagram. Anything else?
Follow Regan and Watkins. Listen to our album. Listen to our album sequentially. Try listening to it from the first track to the last.
And also, we have vinyl now, so which the link should be up by now or will be up soon if it's not.
That's cool. I didn't think about that either. Once you put the album on, you're going to put the needle down and listen to the whole thing through like old school. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we're excited.
Fuck, that's awesome. No, nothing. Just mostly sorry on Instagram. My Venmo is Joel-Jimenez if you want to just send me fucking money.
All right. Yeah, what's your Venmo, Pat? Why not?
My Venmo is at Joel-Jimenez, right?
Yeah, Joel-Jimenez.
And mine is at Jeremiah-Watkins. So there you go. We'll never plugged a Venmo on the podcast. Why not?
Send me that fucking paper.
Joel does not want to have to go back to work. He worked one day last week. He's
not a fan of
he's
work.
trying to be done with working.
Not a fan of work.
It's so rough.
This guy, not a fan of work.
Never mind. All right. It's so hard to go back to serving people oat milk after you've done these sweet ass shows everywhere with your friends.
Oh,
have the best time of your life.
I'm gonna change the ego to Joel Jimenez. He's got that ego on him, dude.
No ego, just hope for a better future.
Oh no, that's awesome, and that's gonna happen. There's gonna be 0 days of work a week where we're just doing the road and doing that completely full time. So
also, no matter how hard the road is, it just feels better because it's towards your dreams and it's so much fun.
Of course, us having food poisoning in Manchester, that's still easier than having to go into a job that you don't want to go into. The bottom line, because you're still loving it and it's your passion.
Well, I love you guys.
We'll get into the kindness challenge. Maybe I'll do it during the intro of this episode on the audio. Thanks for the love and the support. Follow it on YouTube if you're listening. These are really fun to watch, I think, on the road, and people are enjoying it. At Jeremiah Stand Up on social media, and then look out for new Kill Tony dates. And I've been putting a lot of fun videos on my Instagram and stuff like that. Love you guys so much. Thanks for the support. Jeremiah Wonders Roadcast, another one of the books. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Jeremiah Wonders.